This is what's on the line this week in the Big Apple, New York City, for the 38th consecutive year, the Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden, right here in NYC this week. And we've got you covered all week long on Big East Shootaround. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, John Fanta, joined by a two-time Big East Tournament champion and a national champion of Villanova, D-Ray Darrell Reynolds, as well as the Fox College Hoops analyst, a former Kansas Jayhawk, Creighton Blue Jay, Nick Bod. Nick, are we ready?
Oh, absolutely. You kidding me? It's Big East Tournament time. Let's go.
D-Ray, you played in these. You won 2 titles. What does it take to climb the mountain and win the Big East Tournament?
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable determination. You know, every team is coming in here saying we want to win this. So many teams have their season on the line. So it takes an unbelievable determination. But we talk about it all the time. This is a holiday. This is a holiday in New York City. Big East Tournament time, man. Let's get it.
Let's look at the bracket here right off the bat. And when you think about what the Big East held in the regular season, 3 regular season co-champions, the Creighton Blue Jays getting past Seton Hall on Saturday, they are the top seed. When you think about 3 co-champions, Nick, and the other team surging along with them, how many candidates are there to hoist a trophy?
Well, you think about it. So you have the three teams that are co-champs. They're all vying for it. Now, the Marcus Zegarowski injury throws an interesting wrinkle into the equation. Then you have Providence, who's arguably playing better than anybody in the conference at the 4 seed.
Yes.
Then you have Marcus Howard looming right there. Whenever this time of year comes around, you think about Kemba Walker. You think about great individual guys who can put a team on their back and just carry a team for three days. So, and then don't forget about maybe the best closer in the conference in Kamar Baldwin. If it's close, he's probably going to close the game out. So you could go on and on. This is as wide open of a Big East tournament as I can remember in recent memory.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fascinating week. Coverage begins tonight, 7 Eastern time on FS1. Coming up on the show, we will announce the Big East player, coach, freshman, and scholar athlete of the year awards. Press conference opening up here in just mere moments. But let's look at the headlines. We start with D-Ray. What is your headline to watch?
Oh, my gosh. Providence. You spoke on it before. Providence and the fact that they are hitting their stride towards the end of the season. They ran off their last 6 games, one in Philadelphia against Villanova. They've just put together a great end-of-the-year campaign. So I can't stress enough. And I'm pretty sure they won the tournament the first year when they had Bryce Cotton. Correct. So they have been in this space before. Yeah. They're comfortable here. They seem to be comfortable playing with their backs against the wall. And I know a 4 seed is not your back against the wall, but they have a lot on the line. So Providence, to me, that's the headline of the Big East tournament.
I think it's Marcus Zegarowski, who's having his knee scoped as we speak, had that meniscus injury. He's been ruled out for the Big East tournament. Yeah. That's the 1 seed. I mean, I know they're co-champs, but that's the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Opens things up. I mean, doing what I do and having an opportunity to talk to a lot of the coaches across the league before they're ready to take on Creighton, the very first name they always bring up is Zegarowski. Yeah. I mean, he is the guy that you have to worry about. So what does Creighton look like without Zegarowski in the short term? Now, the door's still open for him to play in the NCAA tournament, but we're worried about the Big East tournament.
Exactly.
So, Tyshawn Alexander's going to have to step up. Mitch Ballock's going to have to step up. This cat right here, Denzel Mahoney's been shooting the ball well. He's probably going to have to take his game to another level. It's just, whenever the 1 seed gets a ding like this and has a guy on the sidelines, it makes things interesting.
You said on Saturday, after Creighton won the Big East regular season title, the court is stormed. Yeah. Billy Blue Jays up above the backboard. Greg McDermott's cutting down the net, and 18,000-plus fans are going crazy. You said it's the best Creighton basketball has been. Why?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I played at Creighton from 2006 to 2008 when they were in the Missouri Valley Conference. It was a big deal, Darrell, when Creighton was ranked 24th in the country. Yeah. It was a big deal when a ranked team came to Omaha. It was a big deal to be on national TV just once or twice a year. And to contrast that with the scene that you saw in Omaha, beating a Final Four caliber team in Seton Hall, with a first-team All-American, more than likely, in Miles Powell, in front of 18,000 people to win the Big East, it just kind of shows the upward trajectory of how Creighton's kind of been growing and evolving and improving. And to me, Creighton basketball's never been better than it was on that day. And, you hope that that's not the peak if you're a Creighton fan, but it was a pretty special day in Omaha.
Yeah. The Blue Jays owning 7 wins over AP top 25 opponents. Just staggering. And what they've been able to do away from home, 6 quadrant 1 road victories, beyond impressive. Here's my headline. While Creighton is the 1 seed in this Big East tournament, if you come at the King, you best not miss. And until Villanova loses a Big East tournament, I'm not going to steer away from that, because the Wildcats have won the last 3. Big East tourneys, they've been at the top time and again. Just when you doubt them, they start to overcome. And when you think about this Villanova team, Saddiq Bey is looking like he's got a one-way ticket to Brooklyn at the Barclays Center this June because he's playing like an NBA first-round draft selection. You think about the other complementary players, and if Jermaine Samuels and Jeremiah Robinson-Earl are hitting perimeter shots, it just makes Villanova that much dangerous. And, oh, by the way, point guard U has turned out another leader at the one. Colin Gillespie can be the best point guard on the floor in this tournament. And that's saying a lot because there's several candidates to do so. When I think about Villanova, their season turned December 21st when they welcomed in Kansas and won that game by 1. Jay Wright said that was the turning point on the defensive end, Nick.
Yes. Yeah. I talking to, and Daryl, you would know this because you talk to Jay Wright more than I do, but I remember Villanova played at Marquette on January 4th, and I was talking to him about his team, and he said, we're still figuring out who we are. We're still figuring out who we can depend on each night. And the biggest thing he talked about was figuring that balance between layups, paint touches, and threes. I think they were kind of hot and cold with taking a bunch of threes and then taking too many shots at the rim. And they've come along. And the one name, don't forget about Justin Moore. You know, Justin Moore is if it wasn't for Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, everybody would be going nuts over this cat. I mean, he is the next great Villanova guard. He does the jump stop play with his back to the basket as good as anybody. But what do you like about this team? I mean, because there's a lot to like.
I like that they keep getting better. You know what I mean? When, like you said, when you talked to them, then they were still trying to figure it out, and that's in January. And they still had so much better to get on the defensive and offensive end. But being a young team and them figuring out their identity has been exciting to watch. The scary part is they keep getting better. So every day they step on the court, they're learning more and more about how they play, learning more and more about their offensive and defensive schemes, and they're hitting their stride at the right time of the season. It's always amazing to see a team in March still improving, still getting there.
I will say this too, and you know this: if you want to win three games in 3 days, you got to be able to win a variety of styles. There's probably going to be a day where you can't make a basket and you got to win like a 59-55 game.
Gritty defense.
Nova can do that. There might be a game where it's a track meet. Nova can do that. Like they can they're like a chameleon and can kind of adapt to whatever the complexion of the game shows. I think that's one of the reasons they have a lot of success.
Somewhere out in Las Vegas, Steve Lavin just heard you pull out some lab vocabulary. A chameleon.
I'm spending too much time with him. Way too much time.
You know what they say about at Philly Live outside Wells Fargo Center? They call Daryl Reynolds, it's the Xfinity Live.
Xfinity
they
Live,
call Daryl the chameleon
Oh,
over there,
really?
too. Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Well, let's stick with Villanova because you played for the Wildcats, and Nick talks about that ability to win different games.
Yeah.
How are they able to do that?
Coach coaches them to be complete players. So when you coach a team to have a bunch of complete players, your hope would be that turns into a complete team. So he doesn't let any guys slack off on defense, and he works on everybody's offense. Like I said, if you have 5 guys on the floor who are complete players or can do several things in their game, that in turn turns you into a team that is very versatile, like you said.
I totally agree. I think that's the best way to put it. They're a complete 5-as-1, and each individual guy can handle the ball. They can... Jeremiah Robinson-Earl can switch and guard a point guard.
Exactly.
He can guard in the post and vice versa, and they got interchangeable parts offensively then too. Yeah. And when that's the case, John, like there's nothing that can happen from the opposition that's going to get you way out of sync.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. Like I think that's the thing and you won here. Like when you come here, you got to be ready for just about anything. Again, like I said, there's going to be a day where you might not shoot it well. There's going to be a day where you got to score. There could be a day where foul trouble, things that you just got to be able to adjust and keep rolling. And they got that.
Yeah, like you see it in so many ways.
You do. And the Cats this week are trying to do it a different way and become the first Big East team to win 4 consecutive Big East tournament titles. There are several candidates to try to unseat them. We'll talk more about that. And coming up, the Big East Player of the Year gets announced with a couple other major awards as well. But first, last week on FS1, Big East at 40 debuted. This program highlights some of the best storylines from the conference's first 4 decades. Take a look at the history behind Dave Gavitt, the founder of the conference. Dave Gavitt was the head coach at Providence College for 10 years, including a Final Four in 1973. For over a decade, he was also the school's athletic director,
He was everything to Providence College. He was a mentor, a brilliant coach. He was a legend.
He had opportunities to move during his coaching and administrative career at Providence College and even in the NBA with the Knicks and the Nets, and he didn't leave because he loved Providence. He loved the college, he loved the city and the state of Rhode Island.
He was a great coach, and yet he also was always about the bigger picture.
He had this idea in his head, I think, years before he actually acted upon it.
In 1979, Gavitt's dream came true, the creation of the Big East Conference.
Dave Gavitt was brilliant. He was the guiding light behind everything that happened with the league.
Dave Gavitt would have made a wonderful Secretary of State.
Dave Gavitt was the mastermind, the visionary, and even after he got it started, he was the CEO that kept it going. I worked for Rollie Massimino. He had so much respect for Dave Gavitt. He respected his basketball knowledge. He respected his toughness. And most of all, I think he respected his loyalty.
He had the ability to get diverse personalities, have them blend together, great foresight. It was really his baby. He took great pride in building it up.
But bringing all those personalities together wasn't easy.
In the beginning, there was a little taste of suspicion. Why do I want to be there with Rollie or Boeheim? That's why Dave was so significant in pulling guys who were competitively enemies together. He translated that into, we want to show those guys in the ACC. We want to show those guys in the Big Ten. Dave, by putting that together, gave us a group that had influence on the national picture.
Without Dave Gavitt, there wouldn't be any Big East. The Big East Conference has definitely had a huge impact on the landscape of college basketball. We were the best conference in the country. We're still the best conference in college basketball.
Though he died in 2011, Dave Gavitt's impact on the Big East Conference and all those who knew him will live on forever.
First and foremost, he was an incredible father. People still tell me what a huge influence he was on their lives, how supportive he was at different times of need in their lives and careers, and people will never forget that.
Welcome back here to the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. John Fanta, Darrell Reynolds, the two-time Big East Tournament champion, Nick Bahe, Fox College Hoops analyst. We are setting the table for the Big East Tournament here on Shootaround, and coming up, we will unveil the Big East player, coach, freshman, and scholar athlete of the year winners. So thanks for being with us as we set the table for tonight. A doubleheader. Starting at 7 Eastern time, you've got Georgetown and St. John's. What better way to kick off the Big East Tournament than with two longtime rivals? And for this St. John's team, they've won 2 or 3 all of a sudden. The freshman stretch forward, Julian Champagnie, is coming off back-to-back 20-plus point performances. The Johnnies shooting over 40% from 3 thus far in March. So finding a bit of a half-court offense. We know what they can do with pressure. And on the other side, Nick, is a Georgetown team that has essentially gone with 5 players due to the injuries of Mac McClung and Omer Yurtseven.
You got to really tip your cap to what Coach Ewing's done this year with all the different injuries, departures that have occurred. Basically, 4 of their top 6 guys are not playing right now. Yurtseven, Mac McClung, James Akinjo, Josh LeBlanc. Like, that's really hard to lose 4 of your top 6 and continue to play really well. I've been impressed with, in particular, the 3 guards that have had to just play like 40-minute. Terrell Allen, Jagan Mosley, those guys, especially Allen. He went from a pass-first guy, Darrell, to having to score a little bit more. It's not easy, as you know, in the middle of the year to adjust to lineups, adjust stylistically, and keep on playing well. And they've done that. I know they haven't closed out some of the games, but they pushed your Wildcats pretty far on the final weekend.
Yeah, and that's why they look so dangerous. Like, we talked about that ability to adapt and change on the go, and the fact that they're still figuring that out. Like we said, that game against the Wildcats without a Mac McClung and Yurtseven, and still able to produce that, it's scary, because this time of year, those type of teams start to push those wins together. And those games that are lost by 1 or 2 turn into wins by a couple.
And Darrell, I will say this. There's something about, from a player's perspective, when you know you're not coming out, you relax. Yes. Like, it's not ideal, but like all those guys, Pickett and Qudus Wahab, they know they're not coming out.
Yeah.
So you play with a free mind, you play aggressive, you play confidently, and There's something to that.
Yeah, you let the game just come to you.
Yeah.
Let me give you the bare bones model here for a rec league player. So
When there's only 10 guys and
no. My grade school had an A, B, and a C team. And I was either going to be the last guy on the B team, but they said last guy on the bench, off the bench on the B team, or top guy on the C team.
Man, you're right.
Yeah.
Guess what team I was on?
C team, baby.
Ended up being on the C team.
C team. C team.
So sometimes that idea of being in there,
makes a difference.
That's the whole idea of it. But let's head to the podium now as John Paquette addresses everybody here, and we get rolling with the press conference.
All right, everybody, we are about to begin. Thank you and welcome to the awards presentation and the 2020 Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Our schedule today, Stu Jackson, our Executive Senior Associate Commissioner for Men's Basketball, will make the introductions for our award winners, and Commissioner Val Ackerman will present the trophies right up here to the winners individually. We'll take a picture of Val and each individual winner, and then we'll ask for all the winners to come at the end of the comments up here for a group shot. But after Stu's introductions of the winners, then Val will present the Big East Media Award and have some comments on the coronavirus situation. Afterwards, after those remarks are over, have concluded, then we're going to have our award winners and Val available informally for interviews with the media. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Stu Jackson, our Executive Senior Associate Commissioner for Men's Basketball. Stu.
Thank you very much, John, and welcome to all of you, and appreciate you all coming out for today's awards ceremony. We'll get right into the awards. The first award is the Scholar Athlete of the Year. This season's Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year award goes to Kamar Baldwin of Butler University. His selection was made by the conference's Academic Affairs Committee. Kamar will in fact receive a $2,000 scholarship, which may be applied to his graduate or professional studies. Now on Kamar. Kamar is a senior. He hails from Winder, Georgia. He has excelled on and off the court for the Bulldogs over the past 4 years. He owns a 3.017 grade point average as a communications major in music. He is a member of the athletic director's academic honor roll and the Big East All-Academic team. He participated in the NCAA Elite Scholar Athlete Symposium and the FCA Leadership Captains Academy. Kamar completed an internship at ESPN Radio in Indianapolis last summer and was an active participant in the Butler Way Institute, which applies principles of the Butler Way to student-athlete leadership in its curriculum. On the court, Kamar was named to the All-Big East first team this week after leading the Bulldogs with a 15.2 scoring average, which ranks him 5th in the league. In Big East games, he scored at a much higher clip at 17.9 points per game. He's known as one of the clutch shooters the conference has ever seen. His clutch shooting gene is something you can't coach and you can't teach. He made 85% of his free throws, and his free throw shooting mark was tied for 4th in the league. Kamar exemplifies what it means to be both a student and a great athlete. Congratulations to Kamar Baldwin as the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year.
First and foremost, I would just like to give honor to God, who is the head of my life. Without him, none of this would be possible. Next, I would just like to thank the selection committee for their time and effort to review all the nominees. I know there are a lot of strong candidates. Next, I would like to thank my family for their support and their importance of just telling me how much getting the education is, because my mom always said basketball comes first. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, so I just appreciate her and my family for that. Next, I just hope being on this stage inspires my brothers and sisters to just encourage them to keep going, chasing their dreams, and that with hard work, anything is possible. And then next, I would just like to thank everyone at Butler that has helped me get to this point. I would like to thank Coach Val and my academic advisor and staff, Southern Hopkins, for helping me, because without them, I also wouldn't be here today. And for 4 years ago, when I arrived at Butler's campus, I didn't start with the goal of being a Scholar Athlete Award winner, but with hard work and dedication and just hours of extra study hall time and meeting with tutors, I'm just very excited to accept this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamar. Our next award is the Freshman of the Year in the Big East Conference, as voted by the conference's head coaches. Our Freshman of the Year is Jeremiah Robinson Earl of Villanova University. It's okay, you can applaud. The 6'9" forward is a native of Overland Park, Kansas, and attended IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Robinson Earl has been a consistent force for the Wildcats in helping them to a 13-5 conference record and a tie for first place. Jeremiah nearly averaged a double-double at 10.5 points per game and 9.4 rebounds, and his rebound number ranks him 4th in the Big East. He also shot 81.4% from the free throw line, which led all freshmen. Robinson Earl also led all freshmen in minutes played, averaging 32.7 minutes per game. Jeremiah won the Big East Freshman of the Week Honors Award a league-leading 6 times. He posted 9 double-doubles. His rebound total of 290 ranks 2nd among freshmen in Villanova's program history, 2nd to Amari Spellman, who had 321, who was named also Big East Freshman of the Year 2 seasons ago. Jeremiah's play has always exhibited a very steady demeanor, solid fundamentals, and a fierce competitiveness. He's a player with a bright future for many years to come. Welcome Jeremiah Robinson Earl as the Big East Freshman of the Year.
First, I'd just like to thank God for the circumstances He's put me in, just to help prevail, to help just put me in a situation to get Freshman of the Year, and I'm just thankful for all the things that He's done for me mentally, physically, and just always being there for me. Secondly, I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and my family for always just being there for me. They're a great support system. It's always just helped me just keep me in the right situation and keep the right mind frame and mindset for everything that I'm able to accomplish. And then thirdly, also just want to thank my coaches, my players and teammates, just always just being there and just helping me be in the best situation I possibly can. And without their trust and belief, I wouldn't be able to be standing here today. And then lastly, just thanking the Big East for just keep having a great conference and just always just having great competition and great players and just always being a well-rounded, just great opportunity to be in. Thank you.
Our third award of the afternoon is the Big East Coach of the Year. This season's Big East Coach of the Year award goes to Greg McDermott. Known as Mac to many of us, he led this year's team to a share of the Big East regular season title, and the top seed in this week's Big East tournament. Creighton Blue Jays were picked 7th in the Big East preseason coaches poll, and Mac and his Blue Jays challenged the predictions by chalking up a 24-7 overall record and a 13-5 conference record. His team was ranked 7th this week in the Associated Press poll, which ties for the highest rank in school history, which was also achieved under Mac's leadership. The Blue Jays have beaten a school record 7 top 25 teams this season. This feat will likely earn Creighton a very high seed in this year's NCAA tournament. He is also one of 10 finalists nationally for the Naismith Coach of the Year award. In his 10th season at Creighton, under his leadership, McDermott has compiled a 231-116 record and owns 511 victories as a college head coach. Along with his son Doug, who was named Big East Player of the Year in 2014, Greg and Doug McDermott are the first father and son combination to win these 2 awards. A much-deserved congratulations to the Big East Coach of the Year, Greg McDermott.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Kevin and Jay. We shared the conference title with 2 great programs, and obviously they did a terrific job with their teams as well. This doesn't happen without the support of a lot of people. I've got a very supportive wife, Teresa. My 3 kids, Nick, Doug, and Sydney, have been terrific. I've the best athletic director in the country in Bruce Rasmussen, who's provided us everything we need to have a chance to be successful. And I've got a coaching staff that is not afraid to throw things at the wall, to think outside of the box. And obviously some of the adversity that our team was faced with this year, with losing a couple guys prior to the start of our season, adding Denzel Mahoney in the middle of the season, it took all of us to try to figure out how to make that work. And I've got guys that challenge me every day to make me better, and I certainly wouldn't be here without them. And then lastly, my guys. We talk all the time about losing yourself in the team. Because when you do that, when you have tough times, you have a support system to help you get through those tough times. And when you have great times, you have a group of people that care about you to celebrate with you. And I'm up here today, and we were able to share the conference title with 2 great programs because I've got a group of unselfish people that I get to work with every day. So thank you very much.
Our final award of the afternoon is the Big East Player of the Year award, which goes to Miles Powell of Seton Hall University. Miles is nearing the completion of an extraordinary college career. He began this season having been chosen the Big East Preseason Player of the Year. He backed up his preseason honor ranking second in the Big East in scoring at 21.8, which ranks 18th nationally, of the 6'2" senior guard from Trenton, New Jersey, what Trenton world takes, and we fall in that category. Powell performed best at the toughest times on the road, averaging 25.8 points in the Pirates' 9 league road games. From a team perspective, the Pirates never spent a day out of first place in the conference throughout the league season. Miles is a candidate for several national awards, including the Naismith Trophy, the Wooden Award, and the Jerry West Award. Miles is the second Seton Hall player to win the Player of the Year in the Big East, the first being Terry DeHare in 1993. As important as his achievements on the court over the past 4 years, this conference is equally proud of the way Miles has represented himself, his family, Seton Hall University, and the conference in a manner that we can all be proud. So welcome Miles Powell, this season's Big East Player of the Year.
How you guys doing today? It's a tremendous blessing to be here today. First, I have to give thanks to God because without him, I wouldn't be here. Thank you to my mom and my dad. They have supported me through the good times and the bad. They have always wanted the best for me, and they are my rock. And without them, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Thank you to Coach Willard and all my coaches. You guys know that me and Coach Willard have a very close relationship. He has helped me grow as a basketball player and a man. I can't thank him enough for putting so much work in to help me reach my potential. Thank you to my teammates both this year and the years past. We have built a brotherhood that will last a lifetime. And without their support and their hard work, I wouldn't be here to accept this award. Lastly, thank you to the Big East coaches for voting me this year's League's Player of the Year. There are so many great players to choose from, and for me to have the respect from the other 9 coaches, it means a lot. Congratulations to the award winners here today. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
Good afternoon, everybody. So 2 parts here. Part 1, as all of you know, hope you know, last year we brought back the Big East Media Award to recognize outstanding contributions in college basketball among members of the media community. And it's my pleasure to introduce this year's recipient. It's very hard to see how anybody could have made more outstanding contributions to the coverage of college basketball than Dick Weiss. I mean, after all, his nickname is Hoops. This year is the 41st Big East tournament overall and the 38th here at Madison Square Garden, and Hoops has covered every single one of them. He started out covering college basketball for the Philadelphia Daily News, then he moved on to the New York Daily News. In his career, he has covered 47 Final Fours and written 12 books on college basketball. As for awards, we're not sure what award he hasn't won. He's received the Kurt Gowdy Award for Media Excellence by the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. He received the Burt McCrane Award for Media Excellence by the College Football Hall of Fame. And he's in a lot of other Hall of Fames, including the Philadelphia Big Five and the Philadelphia Sports Writers. He now writes for Blue Star Media, where his duties take him around the world for various international basketball competitions, and of course, to New York City for the Big East tournament every year. Maybe more than any media member that we have ever known, Dick Weiss loves college basketball, and it's a joy for all of us to see him along the trails at basketball events. He'll talk to you anytime about the game, and we know that he loves the people involved, and we love him too. It's my pleasure to introduce the winner of this year's Big East Media Award, Dick Hoops Weiss.
It's just so nice to see so many people who I have been friends with for years. I'd like to thank my wife Joni, first of all, and I'd like to thank all the coaches and players that made this league so special. This is a special event, played in a special place. I hope everybody enjoys the moment. Thank you very much for the award.
Okay, part two. I want to finish up the festivities here by making a couple of comments about the coronavirus. We are moving forward with the tournament as planned, but it wasn't without careful deliberation with all of our schools over the past several days, including most recently this afternoon, and with the counsel of various experts and other sources of information. We recognize the fast-moving and in many ways unprecedented circumstances that we and other sports organizations are facing as we strive to conduct safe events for our participants and spectators. That's everyone's number one goal. Because most of the people in the sports world who are leading or making decisions in response to the virus are not medical professionals, we believe we have no choice but to rely most of all on the guidance of governmental authorities who are in the best position to assess the available science and public health risks and direct citizens and organizations accordingly. We've conferred with the NCAA, whose medical director and a COVID-19 advisory panel of leading medical experts from around the country. The last we heard, although I understand that might be changing, but as of the last we heard, had not advised the cancellation of sports events at this time. We know that the NCAA is monitoring the landscape very closely, and we will await their guidance as it relates to the tournaments, which start next week, and other NCAA winter and spring championship events which are scheduled to take place in the coming weeks and months. We've been in close touch with other conferences, including the Atlantic 10, whose conference basketball tournament started today in Brooklyn and is proceeding as planned. Most importantly, as I noted, we are taking our cues with respect to the conduct of a safe event from the governmental authorities leading the response to the virus here in New York City, with whom we have a direct line of communication. We've been dealing directly with city officials for the past several days, including a call that we had this afternoon. As of this moment, the New York City Department of Health and the Office of Emergency Management have not recommended that large public gatherings here in the city of New York be canceled. The city has advised that New York City residents and visitors follow the hygiene recommendations put forward by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which include additional precautions for the elderly and for individuals with underlying health conditions. We do not believe that the guidance provided by the city up to this point warranted or now warrants a peremptory cancellation by our conference of the Big East tournament. That said, we appreciate that circumstances and the city's guidance may change, and we and our schools are prepared to adjust during the tournament if the city guidance is altered and/or the state of New York issues any COVID-19 directives. Our staff is presently working with our schools on tournament contingency plans should the position of the authorities change. We have also been conferring multiple times a day with Madison Square Garden, which is itself in contact and coordinating with public health officials, including the CDC. Like other venues hosting major college basketball tournaments this weekend, the Garden is implementing preventative measures to provide a safe and clean environment for our schools and our fans, including enhanced venue cleaning. Like other conferences in the NBA, we are also taking steps to limit access to our locker rooms to essential school personnel and to minimize interaction between our athletes and the general public within the confines of the arena at all times. Putting these extraordinary developments to the side, we believe this year's tournament will be as competitive, if not more so, than at any other point in the past 7 years, and we hope we can add to the long list of magic moments this one-of-a-kind sporting event at the world's most famous arena has long been known for. Thank you.
Individual award
award winners to come up for a group photo. Then we'll have everybody available to the media informally out and about. Thank you.
It'll be unpredictable. It's live TV. Hopefully. Welcome back here to the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden, everybody. John Fanta, joined by Daryl Reynolds and Nick Baugh, with the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year, Butler's Kamar Baldwin. Kamar, congratulations.
Thank you.
When you think about your journey at Butler, how did it compare? How has it compared to your wildest dreams when you first walked on campus?
It's been everything you dream about as a kid growing up, and wanted to be the college athlete.
Kamar, one of the things that's been interesting about being around your team throughout the year was how player-led you've been. Can you speak to that a little bit? You, Aaron Thompson, Sean McDermott, even Henry Badley, what that's been like for you guys throughout the season?
Oh, yes, sir. Coach Val just came to us, and he just told us if we wanted to be as good as we could be, then it had to be player-led. So us four guys just came together with a vision and just decided to lead because we wanted to do something special, and we believe we can still do that.
You're known as the best closer in the Big East, if not in college basketball. How do you want to close out your Big East career?
Like everyone else does, is win the Big East tournament. And just playing the best basketball that we can, and just playing for each other.
When you were growing up, were you in the backyard counting down the clock and then hoisting the shot and hitting the game winner? Because you make this look so easy.
Yes, sir. I always worked on that.
You did?
Just different shots, yes, sir.
Counting down yourself?
Yeah. Counting down myself in my head out loud, and then, you got the celebration. But, it just goes back to my childhood.
What's something that Coach Jordan has reinforced in practice this week that you need to do as a group to achieve that goal, winning a Big East tournament?
Yeah, just playing for each other and just having fun out there. When we do that as a team and our focus and have a vision, we're really tough to beat. So,
Kamar, how much did the shot against Northwestern your freshman year set the tone for your career? You got so many game winners you can't even remember. That's the one. It was like the left elbow earlier.
Right. Which one?
I don't know if that necessarily set my career, but it was just a will to win, I would say. Yeah. And I would just say that's where it comes from, just being able to not necessarily take the last shot, but make the play that just gives Butler the best possibility to win.
What do you want your impression to be afterwards? Because like I said, you're wrapping up your career there. The Butler way, I have to believe that you're one of the all-timers. What do you want your impression to be on these younger guys after you leave?
Just that I just do anything for my teammates, and I'll do anything to win, score a rebound or whatever it takes. Not necessarily playing, but like off the court to it. Most young players don't understand, like, it takes a team to be great. So, like, even the guys that aren't playing, they're just as special as the top man on the roster. So, I guess that's what I just want to live.
Here's what I'm curious about. You're the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year award winner. We know what you've done on the court. I know you've done several internships off the court as well. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Yeah, so my internships were great. I mean, I internship with ESPN Radio. Got to meet and intern with Dan Dockich, so he's a great guy. Once you
We're not getting interviewed by him.
Yeah, we're not getting interviewed by him. So I mean, like, once you get to know him, he's a great guy. So it was really a great experience for me.
Did I hear music was a part of your major?
Yes, sir.
Well, okay, explain that.
Yeah, so just learning how to put together music or like record different artists or musicians, and just being able to put it all together and to attract to make an album or a song.
Wow. So we got like an album on the way from you, or you? Like,
oh no, not from me. I mean, I'm more, I guess, like the
producer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a produced album on the way from you.
Not yet. Okay. On the way. It's coming soon.
He's got to produce an album at the Garden.
That's right. That's right.
My final thing is a sense of fashion. You have always come sporting a bow tie every time I see you with the suit. What's behind that?
I just like bow ties. I mean, ties are cool as well, but I just like to go with the bow tie.
Did Darrell Reynolds ever block one of your shots?
Probably, honestly.
Humble as could be. Kawhi Baldwin over here.
Yep, you can see why he's the Scholar Athlete of the Year. Kamar, congratulations.
Thank you.
We know you got some others to see, so you can feel free to.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Some others. Kamar Baldwin and his Butler Bulldogs will be in action tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern Time on FS1 when they take on the Providence Friars. And you just talked a little bit about it, Darrell, the way that he can close.
Yes, it's incredible. Like I'm glad you asked it, because I definitely was ready too. Like, how did he get that natural ability? But it's incredible. Can't wait to see how he closes out his career.
We've got another
the man of the hour. You don't have to wait. You hold that trophy. You don't got to wait for us.
Just the second Big East Player of the Year from Seton Hall in program history, matching that of Terry DeHare. Pirate fans know that name back in 1993. He is the Trenton native. What they make, he takes. What he makes, they take. Miles Powell. Miles, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. When you think about the journey that it's taken to get here today to win the Player of the Year award, what rolls through your head?
Just a lot of hard work. I mean, my sophomore year, I won Most Improved. If you know my story, you guys know that I talk to my brother every now and then, and the tragedy that we're going through. And he told me to go get Player of the Year. So right after my sophomore year, once I won Most Improved, that was the goal, to win Player of the Year. And I fell up a little short last year, my junior year. And when it came down to making my decision, it was a lot of things that was on my to-do list, and winning Player of the Year at the Big East was one of them. So I mean, I'm just blessed to be in this situation. Like I said up there, I just want to thank the coaches for respecting me and picking for me, and like I said, I just want to thank God for being in this situation.
You know, behind every Player of the Year, and you mentioned it in your speech, you have a great relationship with your head coach. What specifically about your relationship with Coach Willard allows you to kind of go out and do what you do?
I mean, just the confidence that he has in me. I mean, all the great guys that Coach didn't have, for him to just believe in me, to put the ball in my hands. I mean, even on my worst days when I started to lack confidence, Coach Willard was a guy just to be on me, and he was always on me. It was kind of hard for me to lack confidence. So even on my like I said, on my worst days, he's still telling me to shoot it. If I miss 10 in a row, he's the guy that's going to tell me he thinks the 15th one is going to go in. So, I mean, like I said, when you have a guy like that, a man in your life that believes in you on and off the court, it's kind of hard for me to lack confidence. So, I mean, for the next guy coming up, I just want them to listen to their coach, because I feel like I just came in with open ears, and everything that he told me, that he believed in me, he seen in me when he recruited me, it all came true. So, I mean, like I said, I'm a guy that listens, and everything that I wanted to happen, I feel like I got as most as I can out of college basketball in college, and like I said, I just want to show the next guy that he can do it.
John talked a little bit about your journey, and I remember the beginning of it. Your freshman year, we played against each other.
We all used to spank on
it,
right?
But no. We would watch. I was like, after that game, we was like, yo, like he gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
How have you grown, as not only as a player but as a man since then? It was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to come in with a great group of guys. I mean, Angel, Desi, Kadeen, and Ish. Yeah. I mean, they did a good job of being my big brothers. And when I first came in, they were the main four on me to help me lose that weight. And once I really started to lose the weight, that's kind of when I fell in love with the process. But I mean, I owe it all to them guys. I mean, to this day, I still call them my big brothers. I mean, I still look up to them no matter where they at, what they're doing. They just always have that respect in my heart that I just feel that I owe them, just from them helping me not only on the basketball court but off the basketball court. And like I said, the things that they're going through, they're still maintaining. Their heads still up high, they still come around. And like I said, just for me to have big brothers like that I can lean on and want me to do so well, like I said, I'm just blessed to be in this situation that I'm in.
In a radio interview yesterday, Coach Willard said that you remind him of Donovan Mitchell. He watches a lot of Utah Jazz games. Who do you like to watch today that you try to take stuff from and apply it?
Dame. I mean,
Dame Willard.
Yeah, I just like the passion that he plays with, the dog that he has. There's not really much on the court that he can do, and I just feel like he just goes out there every night and just try to prove himself. And I feel like if you watch my game, you see that I play with a passion, I play for something, and like I said, that's just the type of guy that I would want to model my game after.
You enter Madison Square Garden this week with some uncharted territory to the season, because this Seton Hall team hasn't had many tough patches, but you've lost back-to-back games here. What's been the message in practice and to the rest of this group to try and do just that, regroup?
I've just been telling the guys that just because we lost these last two games that we can't forget what we accomplished. I mean, we're the first team to bring a regular season championship here, even though we shared it. But, I mean, the two teams that we shared it with, they've been ranked in the top 15 all year, and a very good Villanova and a very good Creighton team. So, I mean, like I said, we're just coming to bounce back. I mean, it's not like we lost to, like I said, bad teams. Those were very good two teams. And then the other conference that they're saying is one of the best conferences, they shared it too, three-way tie with Maryland, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. So, I mean, when you look across the country, this is just what college basketball has come to. And like I said, I've just been trying to pick my guys up. I know that they're going to be ready. And like I said, we won a Big East championship. So
can you just join our set when you're not playing?
You're ready.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get
He's out
it.
for your job.
I'm coming.
You got some more basketball to play before you start doing this. You got a little bit. Well, hey, but with that, you made a decision. You could have gone to the NBA. Was this a part of your – I know you're a team-oriented guy, but when you made the decision to come back, was this kind of the back of your head of kind of the checklist of what you wanted?
When Coach came down to L.A. right before I made my decision, he was just saying that he knew that we had a team that can compete for a championship. Right. He didn't really say which championship, the national championship, Big East championship. He just knew that we could play for a championship, and that's what he told me. He said that he believed that I can win Player of the Year. And like I've been saying, all the things that Coach Willard have ever told me has never been out of my reach, or he's never lied to me. All the promises that he made to me, he kept. So, I mean, when he was just telling me, I just believed in it. And I just believed in my dreams. And like I said, I know hard work pays off. And I'm a guy that just puts the work in. And I just seen it unfold right in front of me. So,
it's been some great guards that have come out of New Jersey. First of mine, J.R. Smith, Kyrie Irving. I really hope you're up next. You up next.
I appreciate
that.
But
how does your hometown of Trenton play into your game? Like, how does that everything you went through coming up in Trenton, how does that play into your game on the court?
Just coming from nothing and just having to go get it. I mean, that's all I tell myself. Even coming to the point where I'm at today, I never forget how I got here. I mean, I'm always like the type of guy, like I said, to go in and put the hard work in. I'm a 6'2" shooting guard. I know that's going to be hard at the next level, but I just want to tell whoever want to take the next chance with me that whatever they need me to do, that I'm going to make it work, whatever that is. I mean, and like I said, I'm going to just coming from nothing, I'm gonna find a way to make it work.
Miles, your numbers on the road are better than they are at home.
Yeah.
You seem like one of those guys that likes the booze and all of that. Is that true?
Yeah, I like the adversity. I mean, I just feeling like I like going to someone else's spot and feeling like I'm taking what's theirs. You know what I mean, I know I get everybody's best shot. I know everybody's coming in just trying to give me their best punch. So, I mean, when I go out on the road and I'm looking into the defender eyes, I just know that this is going to be a good take.
A lot of shushes.
Averaging 26 points in Big East road games. What's your mentality in this building?
Kill everything. I mean, I love this building. When I step on the court, I feel like I'm stepping on the stage and there's just a spotlight on me. So, I mean, like I said, this is what college basketball is about. This is the moments we live for, and I mean, I just can't wait to get out there.
We can't wait to see it out there.
I can't wait, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back with you here on Big East Shootaround.
Congratulations, man.
John.
When you talk about immediate impact, this is the man that comes to mind at the front of the pack in the Big East as the conference's freshman of the year, averaging 10 points, 9 rebounds a game as a rookie for Villanova, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. JRE, thanks for joining us here. Congratulations. When you think about when you first walked into the Finneran Pavilion to where you are right now, how would you say Coach Wright and his staff have sculpted your game out here as a freshman?
Well, I say they did a great job. Just the coaching they do, the development of the players, they do a great job in all that. Just more than just about scoring and just shooting and stuff, but having a great IQ of the game and defensive mindset and rebounding mindset. But they also help you with that offensive game, so you can be an overall player and not be one-edged sword. You can be anything, a jack of all trades.
There it is, guys.
That's what we was talking about earlier. How much did for a kid from Kansas City, right? Yeah. To go to Philly. I'm sure guys like this, Chris Jenkins, Omari Spellman, all those other bigs.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Sumter back in the day was a great player. Like, how much did that motivate you, knowing that you had some big shoes to fill when you're a Villanova front court big, man? Those are big shoes to fill there.
I'll for sure agree with that. Especially Do's been hanging out with us a lot, so there's been a lot of great fours out there, and they get on you a lot, but they help you a lot. It's a great family to be a part of, and I feel like they help you, put you in the best position you possibly can be.
I heard from a family member of yours that said a huge part of you going to Villanova was relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You're big on relationships, and you're a great locker room guy. Like I always feel like you're one of my favorite people just because your energy. You bring everybody in. How does your relationship with your teammates off the court play into y'all play on the court? Because y'all have meshed quickly this year.
I say, especially this year, being a pretty young team compared to most past Villanova teams and even other teams in the Big East Conference, I feel like our relationships off the court is so key to being on the court, because say if we don't like each other off the court, we're not hanging out, or we don't do this or that, then that could affect us from maybe like passing the ball or wanting to help defense with one each other. Just real little things, but I would for sure say our off the court relationship helps a lot.
We were talking earlier about your classmate, Justin Moore, and that if you weren't up there today, that he could have just as easily been up there as well, winning the Freshman of the Year honor. Tell me about the bond that you two have and what it was like going through, learning the process, playing in the big games, and how you shared that with him.
I'll say we were all. It's hard to say. I mean, we were on the first page when we got there, so we're kind of all in the same spot. So when coach is teaching us stuff, we're all at the same level. It's not like one person's ahead of each other. So I feel just always being attentive and listening to the details that Coach Wright has to offer, and even the other assistants and other older guys on the team just really helps for us on the court, because since we're pretty young and we play a lot of minutes, I feel like we really need to just stay locked in and stay solid to what we're being taught on and off the court.
When did the game, because as a freshman, the game's going a million miles per hour.
Yeah, for sure.
When did it slow down for you? Was it the Kansas game? Was it in Big East play? When did you finally go, okay, I can do this, I can play?
Shoot, I would say.
Or was it slow right away for you?
I want to say it's slow right away, because I feel like I would get a lot of just unsolid turnovers and just kind of just some sloppy plays. But I would say after me and Coach Wright watch a lot of film on just decision making, so just being able to slow down and actually not have to think about it as much, but know what to do as second nature. And then I also say just always being solid is so key. And we preach about catching the shoot a lot instead of catching and just trying to go, because a lot of turnovers off travel. So I say just a lot of little things and just paying attention to just kind of helps slow the game down, so you're not thinking about it 1,000 miles per hour.
I was joking with somebody recently, if they make a Lakers movie of the Kobe and Shaq era, you're going to play Rick Fox. I gotta ask, what do you want to do outside of this game? Who are you off the court? Because we know who J-Rob is, Big East Freshman of the Year, but who are you off the court?
I would say I'm really into fashion, music.
Yeah, man.
What's on your pregame playlist?
Pregame playlist. So I just recently made a top 5, because our bus rides are pretty quick. So I need 5 songs to just kind of get me there. I have 4. I haven't put the 5th one on there. So I got International Players Anthem by UGK.
Oh, what?
That's a side that gets me going every time I listen to
3
it.
stacks.
Hey,
that's amazing.
I got International Players Anthem. We got 3-Headed Snake, Young Thug, Gunna. I'm trying to think of the other 2. Hot Remix, Travis Scott. And then the last one is I'm completely blanking on it, but it's I love singing in my songs. It just kind of gets me going. But
Now, I'm going to challenge you here. You're going to be our anchor for a moment.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right, D-Ray. So I got a question for you. Who are you off the air?
Wizard Kelly. For sure. Wizard Kelly. And if you don't know who I'm talking about.
Who's Wizard Kelly?
I don't know who Wizard Kelly is.
Oh, I just dated the hell out of myself. You know who Wizard Kelly is? From Proud Family.
You're an old guy now.
Yeah, man. Oh, my gosh. Go home. Go back.
I mean, I know what the
Do you know
Proud
who Wizard
Family
Kelly
is,
is?
but I don't know.
From what show?
From what show?
Y'all don't know the
The Proud Family. I just know the Peanuts movie where they dancing on.
Yeah, that was the movie. But Wizard Kelly was the
I don't know who.
after film. Look up Wizard Kelly.
All right.
That's who I am.
After film.
Exactly, after film. Yeah. Stay, you know what I mean?
Stay focused.
And then look up Wizard
Stay
Kelly.
focused.
Jeremiah.
Well, hey, with fashion, though, Jay Wright, is he helping you out with the suit? 'Cause
For
the suit
sure,
looks
we
nice.
actually on the way here we were talking about suits and how the sizing and
it
custom
makes a
made and all that.
difference. Yeah.
I'm more like the streetwear, just kind of like all that comfortable stuff. But he's kind of helped me.
But
with
you wear a
that.
suit nice, man.
Thank
You
you,
look
I
good.
appreciate
You look
that.
good.
You do too. You do too. Thank you.
Ba approved. That's all you need to know. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
Big East
Thank
Freshman of the Year. Good luck this week at the Garden.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Go get 'em.
Wildcats going 404 people. We'll take a quick break. The Big East Coach of the Year, Creighton's Greg McDermott, is coming up. We are now joined by the Big East Coach of the Year. We adjusted our set here because, one, he said he looks better next to Nick Baugh.
Easily. That's fine. That's fine. You're the Coach of the Year. You can have the day and the moment. That's fine.
You got a little makeup on.
I do. I need all the help I can get.
He's now the
This is how you're
tallest.
killing me.
This is
All natural. Okay.
He's now the tallest guy on the set. He towers over.
Daryl.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. It's
Greg
a little
McDermott
intimidating.
of Creighton. Coach, congratulations on this honor. You talked about you and your staff and going through this season. Your staff wasn't afraid to throw different things around and evolve this team. What's one of those things that you point to when you think about the way this Creighton season has evolved?
Well, as I think back, John, we lost Jacob Epperson first, and we lost Davion Mintz for the season. So, you're constantly in staff meetings trying to figure out a way to how do we put the pieces together. And then we had it took us a while with Denzel Mahoney. And the sign of a good staff is it's guys that are always bringing ideas to you. And if you decide against their idea, the next day they have a new idea for you. That's a sign of a good coach. And I've got a whole room full of those guys that go to war with me every day to try to figure out a way to put this team in the best situation. So, while my name's on the award, it certainly represents everything that my staff's done this season.
I feel like every coach's goal is to try and get the players to kind of see things through your lens. And you're lucky if you get one guy that is your voice in the locker room, but you got more than one guy that thinks like you and sees the game like you. Talk about, in particular, the three guards, but really what that process has been like to get those guys to be like-minded.
Well, I think anytime you can get your leadership to be all in on what we're going to do. And, once we lost those guys and then Denzel came, I had to have a lot of conversation with them, like, all right, guys, here's how we think we have the best chance to be successful. And it may not fit exactly what you want to do or what you want to do or what you want to do, but collectively, if you'll buy in and you'll help the rest of the guys along the way, I think we got a chance to do something special here. And I really felt, even when we were 2-3 in the league after we lost at Georgetown, that we were really, really close, that we just needed to keep pushing, that we could knock that door down. And it happened in large part because, Marcus, Tyshawn, and Mitch, they've been all in, and they don't care who gets the credit. They don't care who gets the shots. They just want to win the game. And anytime you have a group of leaders like that, you've got a chance to be good.
Coach, my freshman year, I came in and I seen you with your son, Doug, and I would watch how you guys interacted. But I noticed that all your guys had an equal love and respect for you. And even to this day, you seem to be a father figure for a lot of your guys. Like, you connect with them on a different level. How do you do that? Like, what is your message to them outside of basketball that makes them buy in so much?
Well, it hasn't been easy. Because I've been doing this 30 years, and the generations have changed.
Yes.
And the way I could coach 20 years ago is different than the way you can coach now. And if you don't change with the times, you have no chance to relate and to get these guys to believe in what you're saying. So now, I don't listen to their music. I can't do that yet. But we have a lot of conversations when we watch film one-on-one about how they think about the game, how I think about the game. And really the only way I can coach them to my best ability is if I have an understanding of what they're thinking when they're out there. And the only way they're going to figure out what I'm all about is to listen to me talk about their game and where I can see changes being a positive for them and as a result being a positive for our team. So we spend a fair amount of time getting to know these guys on a one-on-one basis, and obviously it's more about basketball. But I've got a wonderful group of young men, and that starts with the way their parents brought them up. We've got a solid group of parents as well, and that's why we have great kids.
What's your message to parents out there who have a student athlete who's about to embark on a conference tournament and the NCAA tournament?
Well, you have to make sure you take some time and smell the roses. And, that was my message going into our game with Seton Hall on Saturday. Like, the town was buzzing because, we had some things go our way that allowed us to be in that situation to play for a piece of the championship. So it's all everybody could talk about, and you get so caught up in the preparation of the game that you wanted to make sure, guys, take a look around a little bit and make sure you take all this in, because it's hard to be in this situation. It's hard to put yourself in this situation. So make sure you enjoy it. And, we're going to enjoy our time in New York City. We're going to enjoy wherever we go for the NCAA tournament. Doesn't sound like we're going to enjoy it with a lot of our friends,
right?
But we're going to enjoy it because it's hard to do, and it's a culmination of what's been a terrific year.
Mac, you've been in the Missouri Valley Conference, been in the Big 12, now in the Big East. You preach to the players, hey, competition is going to make everybody better as players. Same thing as coaches. When you look around the conference, and you brought up Jay Wright and Kevin Willard and splitting the title with them, how did the rest of the Big East and the coaching staffs that they have elevate your game?
Well, you have to. I mean, if you think you're going to go into a game and just roll it out there and not be ready, like, you're going to get your tail kicked in. I mean, the coaches across this league are so good. And, they're great people as well. And you can tell by the way that they interact with their teams that their teams have the utmost respect for them and really believe in what they're trying to do. So, to win a coaching award in this league with the other 9 guys that represent their program is, it's a really cool thing and something I don't take lightly.
When you think about 7 years ago, the expectations that you had coming into this league, and then at one point in this run in the Big East that you've had, it's been documented that Ohio State contacted you, that other schools have shown interest in you, Coach. How rewarding was it on Saturday to have that moment in Omaha, and how did it compare to what your dream was when you first walked into Creighton?
Well, I wouldn't be able to listen to Nick Baugh on the radio if I left Omaha, so I had to stay somewhere close, John, where I could get. I didn't want to have to stream it from somewhere else. So, there were I think there was a lot of excitement when we moved from the Valley to the Big East, but there were always also a lot of people that had question marks. Like, are we sure this is the right move? We're the king of the hill in the Valley. We have more resources, better facilities than a lot of the teams in our league, and we're moving into a league where it's a big boy league. It's got great tradition, and where does Creighton fit into that? Fortunately, we had that group with Jahans and Ethan and Doug and Grant that first year that allowed us to get on solid footing, and then we had to rebuild a little. But, we've been at the top 3-5 out of our 7 years, but I think this year, as good as the Big East is this year, I think it validates the fact that we made the right decision to make that move. And, we feel like the Big East has brought a lot of value to Creighton University and our basketball program, and we hope we brought some value to the league as well.
Your star point guard, Marcus Zegarowski, out this week. We know that he's having his knee scoped right now in New York City. How does that change who you are at the Big East tournament?
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. We've had a couple practices and really light practices because I can't afford to have anybody sprain an ankle or anything at the stage that we're at right now. But obviously he's a huge part of our team, and we're going to have to try to learn on the fly here how to play without him because the reality of it, he's been out there 37 or 38 minutes a game. So my concern is for Marcus and his long-term health, that when he gets back on the floor, he can be his old self and even a better version of what we saw this year, because he's been terrific for us, and we wouldn't be where we are without him.
Where does Nick Baugh rank on the best shooters you've coached?
Well, fortunately, had I coached him, I might have been out of coaching a long time. I watched him play, and he's he was a legend in his own mind.
When I came into the Valley, Mac went to the Big 12. He wanted no part of me.
Scared.
He wanted no part of me.
Now, do you golf?
I golf.
So who wins there?
That's another story.
That's another story for another day.
That's for another day.
Greg McDermott, congrats on Big East Coach of the Year.
Thanks, guys.
Good job, Mac.
Glad to have you. Coach. We'll be back with one final segment to put a bow on this and preview the next 4 days. The 38th Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden gets underway at 7 Eastern time on FS1. The 8-9 game between Georgetown and St. John's, followed by a Xavier team that faces as close of a must-win as you're going to find in your first conference tournament game. Musketeers take on DePaul. Fun fact, the Musketeers are the only team in the Big East to advance to the conference tournament semifinals in each of the first 6 years of the BET. But they'll have to get through Villanova to do that. So now comes the fun part, where we test our panel and ask them for a prediction. Nick Baugh,
you want me to go first?
The Big East tournament.
He said Nick Baugh.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it to Daryl. Give and go back to me. I'm gonna go with Seton Hall. To me, they've been on the top from start to finish here. I think when you look at it, they're the most complete team. They can play fast. They can play slow. They're big. They're the 7th tallest team in the country. Miles Powell, I think, is really going to get it rolling here. Quincy McKnight has stepped up to where you can't just sell out to sending 2 guys at Powell, because Quincy McKnight's evolved as a shooter. So is Jared Roden. So is Mamo Kalashvili, who's starting to hit his stride. I'm going to go with Seton Hall as your Big East tournament champs.
I gotta go with Villanova, and it's not just because that's my school. It's because those 2 wins they poured out at the end, that was huge. And to get those going into the tournament, to carry that momentum going over, being able to pull out those wins, the grit that it takes to do that is what you need to win in this tournament. And at the end of the day, you can be as good as you are, but you can't buy experience. You know what I mean? You can't buy experience, and they've been in this position time and time again. Like you said, the last 3, they've been in a position to not only win it, but they have carried through. So I got to go with the Wildcats.
Well, you got John.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay, well, they
put us on a hot seat. You better give a prediction.
You're the 2 experts. What I will say is this. There's 2 dimensions to this tournament that I find interesting. Number one, I just think that Providence Butler, the winner of that game, has a real open door, because Creighton simply is not the same team without Marcus Zagorowski.
Fair. Very
He gives
fair.
them an edge. He's given them a defensive tenacity. All you had to do was watch Saturday's game to know how good of a player he was and how much he meant to the team, because he had that crowd on fire. He's the heart and soul of this program. So I think the winner of that Butler-Providence game could find themselves on championship Saturday. Providence is playing so
great.
well. They've won 6 in a row.
Yes.
They've got to be a team that could win this.
Yes.
And I also think that Villanova, until somebody unseats them, it's hard to not select them. Seton Hall's been the best team. This is a cop-out answer, but Seton Hall's been the best team in the conference, I think, if you look at their whole body of work. So the one team we haven't talked about at all, and I'm just curious, is Marquette.
Yeah.
Because you have to think they've lost 7 of 8. How frustrated they have to be coming in here. How will they respond?
But you know what's weird, though, is, and this is where it's kind of like all of a matter of how you want to look at it. There is something, too, to having momentum. Like Villanova has momentum going into the tournament. Providence has momentum. But there's also something, too, when you get here, you can wipe everything clean.
Yes.
Like there's an element of being able to be like, okay, like the regular season, let's close that book and let's open the book on a new postseason. That has a way of resetting you, which I think more so than anything, we all know Marquette's capable, like very capable. They got the Big East all-time leading scorer. You know, Brendan Bailey, Sakar Annam, Theo John, these guys, Kobe McEwen, these guys are good players. I think they're, as much as we talk about their kind of limping in, losing a few games here, there's also something being able to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, no, we've talked about them, off camera, obviously, and now we're on, like, we can't stress enough how dangerous this is. Like, you're playing against a team that, like you said, they do get a clean slate, but in a way they're walking to this ticked off because they understand how good they are. They've had some time to kind of reset and settle, and now we're going, like you said, the all-time leading scorer is going into his last Big East tournament. You got to imagine he's going out with a bang. We're really hoping for a Kemba Walker-type performance.
Could be. He's the type that could do it.
Yes. If anybody can do it, it's him or the guy who just won Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So these are great problems to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As Big East fans, we're looking like this team could win, that team could win, this team could be dangerous, that team could be dangerous. That's the beauty of this tournament, that anybody could win, but you have so many teams that are playing for so many different reasons, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
The only question is, can Ed Cooley keep his pants on?
We'll see.
We'll see. Never a dull moment in the Big East tournament. Gets rolling at 7 Eastern time. Tim Brando and the crew will have it for you. Bill Raftery, Lisa Byington, and we'll be with you throughout the tournament with full coverage. We've got a cast of thousands that are gearing up here at Madison Square Garden that'll have you covered on the Big East Digital Network. Follow at Big East MBB on Twitter. Daryl, you're the one on popcorn duty for game one, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm on, like, Gatorade and water duty? You need that? We go to that? You drink anything special?
No.
You good? You good? Water. Good. We'll stay hydrated.
Still.
After 10 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
Nick Bod, Daryl Reynolds, John Fanta. This has been Big East Shootaround. Enjoy the Big East tournament. We'll talk to you from the world's most famous arena.